has marked a turning point in Star Citizen's history. We have finally moved past the question of whether we can build an architecture to deliver a universe with incredible detail at massive scale, seamlessly, and where thousands of people can all play together. Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly at scale for the past 9 months. It has brought a more populated and active verse with up to 700 players online and in the same space at once. It's greatly increased server performance and delivered a much more responsive player experience. I couldn't be prouder of the team. They delivered something no other online game does presently. There may be other games out there that claim large player counts or even the ability to mesh, but none do it at our detail, scale, and seamlessness. Of course, there will be continued improvements to server meshing and to Star Engine, but having moved past this last big technological hurdle has allowed us to finally focus on quality of life and stability improvements, something that has long been overdue. We're about to deliver our 9th patch in 10 months, with content that has brought Star Citizen storytelling into new and exciting directions. We pushed more than 24 features and more than 2,000 bug fixes. And while there is still a long way to go, the game has gotten more stable, performant, and fun as a result. We see this in player metrics. More of you play every day. The daily average users is up 45% from last year, and your play time is up 15%. So more people venture out into the verse and stay there longer than ever before. And through all that,
I do agree with
told
that.
The dual stories of the Frontier Fighters' assault on Pyro and the moral compromises being made to combat the regen crisis. Now, as those stories come to a rest for the time being, it's time to look forward to the next chapter of Star Citizen, where the instability in Pyro and the callous actions of some pave the way to new adventures, new locations, and new threats. Last year, we announced our next Star Citizen would be Nyx, home to the People's Alliance of Levski and bordering the Vandal threat. Today, we're proud to share that your adventures in Nyx begin not next year, but next month. When Star Citizen's third system comes online in Alpha 4.4. 2 new systems in 1 year. That's only possible because of the tireless work of our development teams, server meshing accelerating what's possible, the support teams behind the scenes, and most importantly, all of you. Now,
I'm so excited for Nyx.
Together under one roof this year.
It should be fun.
But in many ways, we're more connected than ever. Across the globe, many of you are gathering at watch parties, 9 of them with our developers in attendance, and countless others springing up in communities everywhere, and all happening simultaneously today. So even if we're separated by oceans and continents, we're bound together by the same passion for space, for discovery, and for this incredible universe we're building together. Whether you're at home or alongside your crew at a watch party, grab a drink, sit back, and let us take you inside our up-and-coming plans for the next year of Star Citizen.
Thank you, Chris.
Try to get us with the not next year,
Next month.
next month.
Bro, I'm so fucking excited for Nyx.
That's
Levski. Yeah, that's Levski. Hell yeah. I wonder...
Aren't they trying to get the exterior freight elevators for that now?
I think so.
They're sharing them off.
Something like that. I can't remember. They showed off Levski last CitizenCon, and they had a Kraken flying through it as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll mention the Kraken at all.
Yeah, maybe.
With the foundational technology now in place, the content development of the game is no longer restricted,
Rich Tire?
allowing us to forge ahead with building out our first 5 star systems. Nyx will see the much-loved Levski landing zone added back to the verse, while also bringing you one of its most iconic landmarks, the Glacian Belt. Here, you'll experience a new combined arms operation that will introduce new factions and new adventures for you to discover. With this edition of our 3rd star system, we're also going to do something that's at the heart of the entire Star Citizen experience, and that is to build it right in front of you. As we have done this year, with the addition of several major locations, such as the Hathor facility or the Lazarus complex, we will continue to unveil new Nyx content throughout the year. It's a slightly different approach to how we delivered Pyro, but we feel this gets the content into your hands sooner and shows our intent as we continue our march towards 1.0. I'm so incredibly proud of the work our teams have done and are continuing to do, and we're excited to have you on this next step of our journey. And as with any journey in Star Citizen, that begins with a little story.
Okay, so they're gonna release it in kind of like a tier 0 state and then add more
In
and more to the
2025,
system.
we introduced 2 major
I guess we'll see.
storylines spanning multiple patches, creating a living backbone for adventure across the universe. The first was Pyro Must Burn. It connected Stanton to Pyro and introduced the Frontier Fighters, who are relentless, brutal, and determined to wipe out any threats that cross them.
That was
And
an
with this
alright
month's release,
event.
You'll now take part in the conclusion to that storyline. The second was Science Run Amok, with the Regen Crisis throwing the Empire into chaos, and you all jumping in to help the various corporations respond. Through that journey, we pulled back the curtain on ASD and its shady practices, uncovering long-forgotten Onyx facilities, and met new characters like Dr. Logan Yorit and Detective Arkham Meller of the Hokro Agency. And just like the Pyro Must Burn storyline carried us into a new system,
Now that's
Science Run Amok
been
is
a
now setting
really
the stage for
fun
Nyx,
event.
the next step in the larger story we're telling on the road to 1.0. As this new chapter
Both
of Star Citizen
Lazarus
begins,
and the
let's
Onyx
hear from
facilities
just a
are so
few of the
fun.
team members working to
Yeah.
bring this next era of our universe to life.
Terrapin.
Oh, it's so
The
fucking
United
pretty.
Empire of Review
Oh
came
my
out in
god.
stands and kind of found out that the system wasn't really reset. I mean, the planets were too hard to terraform, the resources were too tough to get, so they opened it up.
The emptiness and the loneliness is the defining factor. You're still going to find gangs, you're still going to find hostile presences, but it's where people go if they want to live off the grid.
The People's Alliance is the main peacekeeping force in Nyx.
They were
So it's
unhappy
Montana.
with the direction the Empire was
It's
going.
fucking
under the
Montana.
Masters. They got out. They said, we're just going to start from scratch, build our own society, but build it the way that we think it needs to be built.
They're not perfect. They're just people.
Yeah, if I remember,
but they're doing
it's-
their best. They want to.
It's a very
they wanna help
hostile, kind of
Nyx
like
safe and make it
primordial
prosper.
system.
They are trying
It's
to do the
very
best that they can,
unsettled.
but are faced with the realities of dealing with people, which is tricky.
And very close to Vanduul's space, if I remember correctly, as well.
The Pyro Star is quite a warm star. Stanton
Yeah, I
Star
think
is quite
in the
neutral.
lore there's like Vandal
And the
incursions
Nyx
there.
is a little bit cooler.
Yeah, Nyx is, if I
The
remember
system
correctly,
has
quite
the
close to
star, and
Vanduul's
it has
space.
This dark, really, really dense gas, sort of nebulous cloud, and it has points of light scattered around it, and those points of light in this gas cloud is really, really hazy.
That's gorgeous.
So because Nyx is bordering Vandal space, it was important that we have a gap in the
Wait,
Nyx
how did you
gas
jump?
cloud where you could sort of just, in between the clouds, see a piece of the Vandal space.
Yeah, there you go.
It feels so close
Oh,
that
that's
it's
cool.
even like protruding some
Oh,
red
that's so
light.
cool.
The level
How it kind of
designers
like
are
has
using
like
it
a
as an
haze
actual
of
visual
red
indicator of
against,
where
like,
to
the
place
clouds.
More dangerous POIs. So if you point your ship in the direction of it, you should find, as we build it out, that you will be in
Starfarer?
more and more danger. And I think that's really cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That you'd be more danger close you
give
get to
more
Vandal space.
atmosphere,
Yeah.
I was testing
Beautiful.
out adding some sort of space snowflakes, essentially. So when you look towards the sun,
Ooh.
you can sort of see that sort of like sparkle. But then when you look away from the sun, you'll see the reflections and sort of like little glints of lights.
Oh, that'll be
That's so pretty.
yeah.
For the jump points in Nyx, we'll have 2 on this release. We'll have one from Pyro to Nyx and one from Stanton to Nyx.
Oh, okay.
It should be going from Nyx to Castra, but we're essentially bypassing Castra temporarily.
Hey, we want to make sure you can get there any way you want.
I can't
Glacian
I
Belt
can't fucking
is
wait for
a
Nyx, man.
Huge asteroid belt that is.
It
in
looks
sort of
so
the middle
pretty.
of the system.
Glacian Belt is a combination of a bunch of technologies that we already had. The asteroid fields we use for planetary rings and the gas clouds. and it's combining them to make something completely new that we've just not seen before.
So Orion with Nyx,
resources that are still left unharvested because it's kind of a tricky spot for mining. It's not the easiest place to go, but that means that there's still a lot of opportunity for independent miners to go out there.
So the rocks in Nyx are a bit
Rock
more
is huge.
sharp, like sorts of like icy look, rocky, cliff-like, very different from those in the
I wonder if there'll
Pyro
be
and Standard.
One of
new
the big
resources
differences, too,
to
is
get
all of that extra added
from
movement
mining
that
in
just
Nyx.
adds a little bit of extra flair. It's also a good hiding spot for people who are trying to elude capture, maybe set up ambushes, that type of stuff.
Always feel way more interesting flying in those spaces than just, you know, through empty void.
And as we build out the Glacium build over the next year, lots of places to put new content.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Delamar is a very large
I appreciate
asteroid in the Glacium.
having
that PvP
POIs
Planet
out in
Services had
space
built
rather
a
than
mining base on that got
just
taken over
strictly
by the People's
planetary.
Alliance and renamed Levski.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, Levski. Oh, that's so fucking cool looking, man.
Levski is
Actually, yeah,
our
that is
first
pretty
and
sweet.
biggest social outpost for Nyx.
It's
That
kinda like
looks
the
so-
place where you stop
so
before you
cool.
do your panning.
I love the shades of like
So it's
white
kind of,
and
San
blue.
Francisco before you got to the gold
Yeah.
rush.
It's going to be the central hub for trade and hauling and all of the commerce within Nyx and also from Nyx to other systems.
As you approach, you'll initially see a
Welcome to
very
Levski,
dramatic
Beltalowda.
portal that goes all the way through the asteroid. You will also see growing out from there and along
God, it's so
Levski,
goddamn cool.
there will be landing pads along what I'd call the spine. Lots of industrial pipes and transport systems to bring out the refined mining materials when it was a mining station.
Oh, that's cool.
Before
Train
we were
stuff.
using an actual planet, so we had all of the space available to place all of these structures. But now it kind of meant that we had to create an asteroid which has the appropriate size to.
If we took the whole shot of the asteroid, you will see that there is an area to fly underneath. We plan on bringing in whole sea gameplay, so this is exterior cargo elevators, so as a team you will be able to load and unload cargo.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot more movement on the exterior, such as the cargo trains going around tracks. It's
Oh,
now
that's
going
cool.
to be fully EVA-able.
Oh, you can
There will be
EVA everywhere?
walkways around the main landing zone to walk on using gravity plates, but you can drift off and kind of go wherever you want.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
That's
you get to
so
float around
neat.
instead of
The whole place, which is great.
instead of just being stuck on a station.
God damn, I love Levski.
Unlike the
It's so
majority of
cool.
anarchists living in Pyro, there are people here in Nyx that care.
It's not a downtrodden or derelict, dilapidated location. It has a sense of order.
But only where the People's Alliance has people living.
So Mercy Hospital is just basically, it's a local med station for all the residents of Levski, anybody traveling through the system. Again, they're trying to provide as good medical help for people as they can.
I
You
love the
arrive at
look of
the,
that.
hub
Honestly,
location,
it's
you'll be presented with
it
a
still
lobby,
looks
a loading
very
bank,
like
and then you will take that
frontier and
transit
like
to the hab room. So
low
within that
tech,
room will
but
be
very
pods.
differently from
That's
how
where
the ones in
the
Pyro
original
look.
miners would have lived. They're not the nicest, and they're a bit messy, but they're a home for people in Levski.
I love the look of
down to
Levski
the
because
lower view deck,
Pyro
you'll go through
is
into
very
the
much
Grand Barter,
like
which is
they
your
just
main
don't fucking
social
care,
and commercial area of
right?
Levski.
This is where you will
Whereas
see market sellers selling their wares. There will
Levski,
be
it's like
stalls, there will
they
be
care,
walking
they're
bench shops.
trying their best, they just don't
And
have
that includes things
much
like
in the way of
Cordry, which is your
resources.
armor shop, and also conscientious objects, which is for weapons. There's also one of my favorite places, Cafe Musée, which is where you can go down into some of the more rocky depths and grab yourself a drink, and you never know who you meet down there. If you explore a bit more around the Grand Barter, there's other routes around and little side passages. There's another shop that's away from that area called Teachers.
Teach's Ship Shop is basically where you would go if you were looking to pick up a used ship, buy some ship parts, fix up your old ship, find some new stuff, sell some scrap.
It's a cool looking ship
We've
shop,
closed
honestly.
up Dumpers Depot for Levski, and everything that used to be sold there will now be sold at Teachers. Another new area, as well as the cargo shop that we've added, is a refinery deck for Levski. That's where
refinery
you can
deck.
take your processed
cool.
goods, not just from Levski, but from the rest of the Nix system, and refine and sell those goods there.
I
As
get a
lot of the
feeling
content
that
in
Nix
upcoming
is going to be
releases
where
for
they,
Nix is going to be mining
like when
related.
Nix comes out,
So it's
I
super
get a
important
feeling that they're gonna
Levski is a really
do an
nice
update
hub
for mining gameplay as well
mining
when
type of
Nix
gameplay.
comes out. Because
Maybe.
that's one of the big things that
So
like
we're really
makes
happy to
Nix
bring Levski
Nix
back
is
into
like
the game. It's been gone for quite a few years
is like
I think it really provided.
it's not
a unique
very
environment
settleable,
of
but there's a
it's
shit ton of asteroids to
run
mine.
down, but the people who live there love it and are working their hardest to make it a great place to live.
This is a location that has a lot of nostalgia for you guys, and we don't want this just to be a re-release. We do want you to go, wow.
It's not going to be as complete as Pyro as it first came out, but it's going to be our first iteration, and you're going to be able to see it grow as we work.
I'm so excited for Nix.
It should be pretty fun, especially when they add, because like they're gonna add more stuff.
Especially coming next month
Yeah.
is crazy.
Next PTU. Yeah.
So we've talked about Levski, we've talked about the Glacian Belt, but you're probably asking yourself, what's the new gameplay activity we're going to be doing? So let's find out.
Welcome to Nix is your first experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
It's a mystery to be solved. There's things for the player to explore and look into. There's going to be some twists and turns, of course, some combat, and if you're lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is
I wonder if
basically a
Levski's gonna be the only LZ
kind of our ASD storyline. So
in Nix.
They said it's kind of like
closing
the
out what we had called our science run
maybe
amok
there'll be like some small ones,
storyline.
but like
we had
they probably won't have
revealed
everything
that
added.
ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments. So this mission is basically going to be continuing on that.
See. So there will be other
So when you
places.
come out of
I think
the
just
mission and you
Levski will
start
have
your approach
everything.
vector to
Okay.
the objective, you'll be weaving
There
through
are some
asteroids,
other
going
stations
through
in
the
Nix
Glacian Belt.
besides
Slowly
Levski.
The station will reveal itself. Now this is an old QV logistics station. It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict, but there's some points of interest that you'll spot as you go through. So the station itself shares design cues from old Pan Am stations found in Pyro. This architectural
Yeah, I was about to
design
say
found
that
its
it
way
looks
into
very
the
similar to
system
a
as the system was
Pyro
being
station.
established.
Just
But
in
you'll
better
also
condition.
see some additional
Yeah.
design cues that
Well,
QV planetary services
More
were
or
adding,
less.
so it's a nice transition.
Quote unquote
architectural
better.
point.
It looks
It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris. So at this point, you should be asking yourself, who does this belong to? Away from the Polaris, you'll see struts leading to asteroid bases. Now these asteroid bases are locked, so you don't know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of this comes together to form the playground for the mission to take place. So not only is this facility unabandoned, but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
Oh, Vanduul?
Guess we'll see.
It's got to be Vanduul in the Nix system.
Yeah, it's definitely Vandal.
Ooh, finally
That's a new
Vanduul
one,
enemies. Yeah, that's
That'd be sweet,
that's the
actually.
Stinger, right? The heavy fighter.
Yeah. And a blade over there. Or is that a scythe? Looks like a scythe.
There's a scythe.
And there's a blade. There you go.
There's a
All
blade.
three of them.
First time in the PU, the Vandal.
EU Vandal, let's go.
So the
Hell
Vandal
yeah.
are a nomadic, very, very, very violent spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the Nyx system. They don't really know what they want, don't know why they're doing it, but it seems like whoever's running the station is really pissed them off.
Vandal raiding parties have been rioting in the system. And they're unaffiliated to any clan. The small groups coming in
just
and
run
picking
it.
at them. But as time goes on, those raids are getting bigger and more frequent.
There'll be the scythes that you're familiar with, glaives and blades that we all know and hate, and a new craft for the PU, the Vandal Stinger.
It looks beastly.
Oh, it's so fucking cool, man.
Civilians on arrival asking you for help.
So at this point, you have a choice. You can either bug out, mission over, or join the fight.
Oh, that'd be cool. So you get a pick if you want to stick around and fight the Vandal.
That you'll be able to fight against Vandal aggressor ships.
This fight will be intense. The player should be able to deal with them, but they will have to be prepared and they'll have to come back in to fight off this initial wave, and that won't be the end of it.
After you fight off the Vandal ships, the mysterious inhabitants of the station invite you to come on board.
Which Intersec sort of will encourage you to do because it'll help further their investigation against what's happening here, why these QB stations have come back online.
You dock your ship, you board the station, and it turns out the inhabitants here have a real surprise for you.
Bullets.
The player will be immediately ambushed. These guys are not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
The fight will be challenging, but this definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be the players getting a sense of what
That's the
exactly is
warm-up?
going on there. Who
That sounds
these
pretty cool. So it's like the
people
ASD
are.
facility, except you're
They
fighting
will
through a
be familiar
station
armor.
instead
They
of
will
just
be
some
wielding
facility. That'd be cool.
unfamiliar weapons. And we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new territory, fighting.
So new
a
weapons, new armor.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So after
Oh,
you
that
survive
that
this
looks like
initial
a
ambush,
cool ass
you
gun.
get back in touch with Intersect.
Yeah, that's the
and obviously
parallax
the question
rifle.
Is it?
Who are these
Yeah.
people? Why are they attacking? Why are the Vandal attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought.
I remember. I don't think
Directive
I've
from
ever used the
Intersect
parallax
is
in
to
game.
explore the station and collect
You
as
got
much
one from the
information as you
Hurston
possibly can.
missions, the cargo missions.
Along the way, you're going to get to explore
Yeah,
some
probably.
new areas.
It's not just the space station. There's the disabled capital ship. There's asteroid bases nearby with obvious installations there, other forces that the Vandal have been attacking. There's a debris field.
Explore the locations in any order you want and try to find out who these people are and why the Vandal are after them.
You'll find new clues. You'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on at the space station, and
Oh, that's
find
cool.
out what kind of loot they have for
You can kind of tackle the
now that you've beat
mission
them.
in a
Of course, this is
in
a
whatever
legally
order you
open
want
station,
instead
so
of having
anything
to
you
just
find
like
is yours to keep and sell, maybe even give
Go
to
a
like
certain
that.
way or
That's
something.
kind of like the one thing that
This isn't just a one-time event.
is
this
not
is a
amazing
permanent sort of
about
mission that we're
the
going to be adding to the game.
Onyx facilities is
back
they're
and
pretty
repeat
linear.
this mission
Yeah.
and find ways to do it even better, even faster.
There'll be a different story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersect will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
Now you know the real story, and you can start digging.
Oh,
and
that's
giving more
cool.
information to Intersect along the way.
So you find specific things and then like the mission changes depending on what you found in the last one.
I'm super
Or it's
excited
just the
to finally see
repeatable
the Vandal
missions.
and the PU.
I'm excited to bring cool.
I guess we'll see.
Vandal
Could be.
ship
Yeah.
combat to SC.
We'll see.
Players in the PU will now get a face down these awesome ships and get a taste of like we already have it in Arena Commander where you get to fight the Vandal swarm, and being able to do that in the PU is going to be, I think, a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I wonder if the Vandal
This
like
marks a great milestone
flight
for us
AI
for
will be
not only
different
pushing
from the
hard
regular
and
AI.
adding content this year.
I hope so.
We're also being able to introduce the next.
It'd be
Star
interesting
System
if they like
and
fly
introducing
differently.
The next landscape
Yeah.
to tell new stories and add new gameplay beats into the ever-expanding universe. So we'll leave 4.4 there. If you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a toast to the great work that all the teams have been doing this year. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Good lord, those clouds look
With
insane.
Genesis, we've made a complete paradigm shift to how we do things. Biomes are now created based on the physical data sets, with the assets being spawned
That actually looks
whenever
pretty sweet,
and
Dave.
wherever
Beautiful.
the correct criteria is found.
Okay, so they're saving on
when
server
you see a
performance
forest
too.
or a meadow, it's no longer because an artist painstakingly crafted it there. It's now because it simply wants to be there. It fits inside our rules.
Interesting. So they set
Genesis also ties
rules that
into our
like
other gameplay systems.
that
Our
like
new
a
planets
forest
are built
has to
from the
have
information we
meet
create
like
for our different data sets.
X and Y and Z criteria
Like height,
to
humidity,
exist.
temperature, soil type,
Yeah.
soil amounts,
Oh my
geology,
god,
erosion
that
data,
grass
to name
looks
but a few.
so good.
This
Yeah.
means you can now tell where to find valuable minerals as the geology looks like it would be suitable for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Where scree piles exist
Wow.
with faces, and where rocks have broken off over time due to erosion. Of course, these new tools still give us the
Ooh,
ability
alien
to direct
stuff?
the look and feel.
Oh, that looks so cool.
The attention to detail from the tallest mountain to the smallest flower is still our core DNA. With Genesis, we can now keep that
Dear God, this
detail-oriented
game-
mindset as we focus on the quality.
Their
And
obsession with
they teased the swamps last year in CitizenCon.
Yeah.
Good to see they're coming through with that.
Genesis provides our planet
this
with the
game,
ultimate
they
sense of
have an
exploration
obsession
and
with
adventure.
like
Discovery in the purest emotional form.
looking as real as
Use to find
possible,
that perfect
and
place, with the planets providing
Doing a pretty
that
darn good job.
This is a major part of what
unreal.
exploration is for us.
It's
We want
it
that
looks
feeling of
so
finding a corner of
good.
the universe that you'll
Yeah.
fall in love with, and where you want to settle down and build your home.
Holy shit.
What we have built that allows Genesis to realize.
Did they say they're gonna go back and
As a reminder, some
redo
of the
all of
visuals
the
you'll
planets
see
in
will
Stanton
evolve
as
and
well?
change as
That'd be
we
cool.
continue our technological development and hone in on the final look for Nyx.
Thanks, Ian. So, in case it's not already clear, Genesis is our name
Oh, water
for a group
guy,
of
let's go.
technologies that are improving our ability to build worlds.
Water guy.
Finding those that we've already created, and ultimately expanding our persistent universe to the scale and quality that we all expect.
I guess
work
river
on planet
guy.
tech, so let's talk about how that's continued to evolve since our presentation last year. And instead of just highlighting some really cool biomes that we can create, let's go ahead and show how all this work applies to the upcoming planets of Nyx.
So there will be
So
some
there are
planets
three
in
planets
Nyx.
in Nyx.
Ooh.
Nyx 3 is a gas giant, and I think it's blue. It's not going to surface. I don't really know. Nyx 2 is a yellow, toxic. It's got like this high
Okay.
pressure atmosphere, and it's like a very volatile planet with high risk reward gameplay.
Okay.
It's going to have some really interesting biomes for you to discover, but for now, just know it's going to be dangerous, because today we're going to focus on what we consider to be the hero planet of this system.
The clouds look cool so far.
Those
Nyx 1
clouds
has
look
got
so
a
good.
rugged, remote beauty. It's got
It's
a diverse
unreal
set of
how
biomes, from
good they
weathered
look.
rocky mountain ranges to vast, sweeping forests and grasslands, and from damp, expansive wetlands to
Like a real
claustrophobic,
green planet. Let's
festering
go.
swamps.
Wow.
Ooh, swamps,
These core
mountains,
biomes
and
Wow,
plants.
that looks
fantastic
so
platform to
good.
hone our technology. In some cases, because the current tech couldn't do them at all, or because we want to completely step up our game height
That looks
changes.
great.
They also bring in local erosion data, both for soil and bedrock size values.
Fucking erosion
This gives
data?
us a
Are
whole
you
new
kidding
level of terrain
me?
detail, of scale, and allows us to create far more unique locations across the planet.
Okay, that looks
So now that
great
we've nailed the
though.
surface, let's
It's
have a
okay.
look
I
at adding
can't
some rocks.
I can't make fun of
We've
them
now
because
got
it looks
two major
really
contributors to the
good.
rock content of our planets. Firstly, long desired feature, cliffs. We are
Yay,
adding large
cliffs.
scale
Wow.
detail to all our cliffs based on the geology at a given location.
Oh, good. Not
That's
any more
okay.
like
I
stretched
really like
plains.
mountains.
We simply
I
couldn't get before.
I really like mountains. So like, that
The
looks
second is a big one
beautiful
for
to
ground
me.
vehicle enthusiasts. Rocks are now found not scattered everywhere, like spilt popcorn at the cinema, but only in places you'd expect to find them, thanks to a brand new rock scattering algorithm that isn't annoying as hell.
Oh, sweet.
Using physical data generated for each large and medium tile.
Oh,
now
that
rock
looks
distribution
great,
makes sense and has a
actually.
physical basis.
It's like
So if it's still crashing
near the
inside,
bottom of
after this comes
cliffs
out,
and
that's
mountains and stuff, there be more scattered rocks.
Yeah.
Oh,
themselves
that
Just like-
grass looks so good!
Rock sets related to a
In the middle of the
particular
grass.
geology.
It
Yeah,
looks
like
so
rocks.
Just from the
good.
same source. And this ties into
Yeah, that
how
looks
we'll
actually
distribute
pretty nice.
minables
Like, that
in
looks
much more
like
interesting ways
almost
too.
like a picture from Earth right there.
Yeah. God
So now
damn, that
ground-based
looks
terrain
good.
and rock scattering looks good.
Wow.
Let's add some vegetations and explore some additional biomes.
Oh.
Next one's forests and grasslands are full of trees, various grass species, rock formations. And they're found in
Beautiful.
all sorts of elevations, like mountain valleys, open plains, and dense meadows. And when we start to add a bit of fresh
I
water,
love this
they
planet
begin
so much
transitioning
already.
into more wetland-type biomes.
Like,
And while forests are super cool, let's
Like, it
focus
has
on the grasslands and wetlands today.
forests, swamps, grasslands, mountains.
So, how are
It's
we making this
beautiful.
so great?
What an amazing planet.
Obviously, we've had grass before, but never
Why the
meadows
fuck
of it.
did the UEE
Because
not
until
colonize
now,
this
we haven't been able
planet?
to
It's
spawn grass in
gorgeous.
large enough quantities or effectively represented at distance.
It looks
So we're stepping
amazing.
up our game in terms of spawning, shaping, and shading grass. With Genesis, we now leverage GPU spawning to create vast quantities of assets across all biomes, whether it be dense meadows or more complex collections of ground cover like you can see in these wetlands.
Wow.
We are also able to
That
fit our
looks
grass tiles to
so
the ground
good.
by conforming
Yeah.
them to the unique terrain underneath. Now we can finally cover complex terrain shapes with grass and ground cover assets, and as a result they are now gravity aligned, meaning each blade is oriented as you'd expect and not sticking out like before.
What?
Wow.
Gravity-aligned blades of grass?
Gravity-aligned grass technology.
Next, let's take a look at how we light our grass. Now, as in real life, the shading of a grass blade, or indeed a whole field of grass, is lit very
That's so
differently
fucking
to
dumb, and I love it.
We now
This
use a
is
solution
why
that
I
shapes
like Star
meadows of grass
Citizen.
far
They
more
do
like
the
fur or
dumbest
hair.
shit.
And this, if you think about it, makes sense. At a distance, a field
Realism.
of grass is far
Realism.
more like a carpet or cloth.
Also, like
flat
the
surface.
shading of the
This
grass
includes how our grass
changing
looks from a
between
near
like
perspective, as well as
the
bringing
different
these
angles,
nicely
like
into how we're solving the distant
steeper ones
representation of
being a
grass.
little bit more brown than like the
So, let's talk
flatter.
about the distance.
Yeah.
It's
One of our biggest
ridiculous.
achievements with Genesis is allowing us to build beautiful biomes out of flora and geology assets like a building set. Like, can I say Lego?
No.
Too late.
So
Dramatic
it won't be
rockscapes.
like you see it, like you see the assets load in. They're saying
Those
like you're
muggy
gonna see it
wetlands.
more detail from further away.
Or even our festering swamps.
Oh, that's so pretty
yeah,
though.
Didn't forget about the swamps. And they're coming to Nick's
It
one
looks.
as well. Built using the lessons learned
Wow,
from all the technology we've developed,
that
these
looks
swamps
so
now
cool.
spring into existence.
That looks so
Planetary data.
good.
This biome combines
It
all
literally
the
looks
elements
like
from the
when I
other
lived in
biomes we've shown you
Georgia,
today.
like the
From water
roads would go through kind of like the
dense
wetland
spawning,
area. Just
Yeah.
don't want to be there.
Having the cover of like,
really unique.
oh my god, the fucking god rays as well going through the
Yeah.
trees. Oh, this dev team is insane. Every single one of them
literally
belongs
everything
in a
is
goddamn
Genesis and how we're
asylum,
using
and I
right
love
now
it.
to sculpt the identity of Next One. And I hope you're as excited as we are to explore this and everything we haven't shared yet next year.
I'm very excited, sir.
As you can
Give
see,
me that
Riverman
planet.
is now inspiring everyone.
Now you're Planet Man, no longer Riverman.
And believability we've always strived for. And meeting of technology and art that I truly believe will set our worlds apart from anything we've done before. And with that said, let's move on to a little travel between systems, literally. Up until now, our mission system has been specific to the star system you're in, meaning a Stanton mission has to take place in the Stanton system, and a Pyro mission has to take place there. We've never been able to link these together, but with the introduction of our third star system, it's time for this to change. And that begins with the introduction of interstellar cargo.
What are you talking about today?
Oh,
Interstellar cargo. Ooh.
Hull C actually gets a use?
No one said Holly was gone. He doesn't even play the game.
Ship
Exactly what they
Did you
say
see
on the
that?
tin. Missions where you're going to start in, say, Stanton.
I love how
taking various
communicative
volumes
the
of cargo
dev team is
between
with the
stations. So there'll be high
with
volumes
the
of cargo
community and how
filled
they
with
understand
Hull
the
C and the other series of
memes.
ships. And there'll be a few sort of more direct routes.
So you might pick up some cargo from Ruin Station in Pyro and go through the jump point to Stanton and drop it off there at one of the LEOs.
So if you've never sort of experienced the jump point or going through it, these missions will require you to.
Okay.
They're no way limited. You can do them.
Big
in any
update
sort of ship you want,
to
any size of
cargo
ship.
hauling gameplay.
That'd
be cool.
Amazing.
Just a Drake cutter.
I've got a few ships, but the Drake Cutter is really cute, so.
One thing
I
that
do
we're
like
looking
the
to
Cutter.
add
Cutter's a
to these
great
interstellar
ship.
missions is scripted combat encounters where you can be attacked by NPC ships. Maybe the mission giver has tipped off some pirates who are looking to get a hold of that cargo. As well as express missions, which means the deadline timers that you're used to in the regular hauling missions might get really tight and you've got to learn to be very fast. All of the love and care that has gone into hauling missions so far, with the logistical network and making sure they make sense within the themes of the systems, just as much love has gone into the interstellar missions we're making now.
Rock cracker is where you have to crack a rock. It's a big rock. You want more?
So way out into the Kiga Belt, you'll find these old QV breaker stations.
Ooh.
These were
Mole.
originally industrial facilities breaking apart large asteroids and mining them down. But since they've been mothballed and been left abandoned. So you're going to have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility back to life. It's not just about flipping a switch. As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon and calling attention to these long forgotten places.
One of the main features is the laser head, which will require certain things to get working. It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
There'll be a variety of options. Whether you're discovering the bowels of the station and mining your way through long-forgotten tunnels, or you're going through the main laser entrance. Now, as you're traversing through the facility, you'll find the old engine room. Now, there may be ways to bring the facility back to life, kickstart the engines, and bring power to different parts of the facility. Maybe eventually
Interesting.
bringing the laser back online and cracking some rocks.
The secondary gameplay
Interesting.
is FPS combat.
I wonder if they'll spit out like a bunch of like
squatters and
rare
outlaws in these
metals
stations
or something you can
trying
put
to
on
stop
like a
you
cargo
from
ship.
what you want to do.
Probably. I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah.
Similar to like the Hathor facilities.
Yeah, yeah.
So you found these old facilities. You've brought them back to life. You've systematically brought power to various functions of the facility. You've activated the laser. You've fired the laser. You've
Fire the
broken apart the rock.
laser.
Fire the laser.
And then you'd be able to
I'm
fly your ship
firing my
inside.
laser.
Oh, you gotta fly your ship inside.
Ooh.
The rock.
Into an asteroid.
Yeah. You just get into your ship and fly in and start searching around and trying to find the pieces that you want to mine.
Oh, so maybe you'll have like super high quality or like high quantity of like certain metals and
because
stuff.
it's a sandbox activity.
That's really
You can kind
cool.
of go to these whenever you
What
want
did
to.
I tell you, dude? This is gonna be the system that brings mining gameplay back into the game.
And hauling, apparently.
Yeah, mining and hauling. Anyone who does mining and hauling gameplay is gonna fucking love Nyx. Because it seems like that's a huge portion of what they have planned. Which is nice because I feel like those gameplay loops have been pretty neglected, at least in the last few patches. I mean, they did have like the cargo hauling patch, but like,
if you couldn't make a good amount of coin, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
You've
it's
gotta balance
it
it.
doesn't seem like it's CIG's favorite gameplay loops.
It's for people who want a lot of minerals. When crafting comes in, when all the other mechanics and features that we want in the game for 1.0 come in, it will be a place where like an organization or a group of like 5-6 people could come and just get a monumental amount of minerals.
That's cool.
Get a monumental
like-
amount of minerals. I like that.
So
From a
that's a
whole
look
sea
at
full.
some of what's coming over the next 12 months. In addition to what we've
In the
shown,
next 12
there'll
months?
be new
Sweet.
mission packs
Hell
tailored to
yeah.
the People's Alliance and their struggles. There'll be events that invest you into the evolving storyline of all 3 systems we'll have in the game. And of course, when we begin populating these with new planets, there'll be a whole host of ground-based POIs, settlements, and structures inhabited by those trying to make their way in the
Really
verse.
halfway down.
And all of this in service of building star systems that complement the massive corporate yard of Stanton, the lawless ganking of Pyro, and now the new frontier of discovery for the Nyx system. Should I say ganking?
You already did.
J. Crew, lay it on me, J. Crew.
Give me the news.
Give me the ships. Give me new ships. Shut up and take my money.
Hectic in terms of vehicle deliveries. And we delivered the most we've
Basically,
ever done in a 12-month
that's
period.
basically every time
covered all the way
John
from tiny little
Cruz
snubs
shows
all the way up
his
to capital ships.
We've kind of filled out a few little gaps. We've
Face.
introduced some new ships by some old manufacturers.
We had the Polaris come out, and obviously people have enjoyed playing with that. We snuck the Idris in without none of you expecting it for a while, and it's been a busy year. It's nice to start revisit some of the older catalogue and some of the bigger ships again.
I think my favourite ship from the last year is a tie between the Wolf and the Golem.
Favourite ship in the last year? Probably the Wolf.
I feel like it's the obvious one. I'm trying to think of something else, but I really like the Wolf.
Everyone's mentioning the Wolf. The Wolf's everyone's favourite.
The Wolf, obviously, a return of Kruger, a completely
Wolf
new
was sweet,
aesthetic to
though.
the game.
The Wolf was, it was kind of everything we set it out to be,
I
and it revolved
I
around manufacturing. I've
really
seen it for a
love the
while,
Wolf.
so,
The Wolf
yeah,
is
I'm with
such
the
a nice ship.
The Golem, I think,
It's
is just
beautiful,
incredibly
it's fun,
well-formed ship.
it
It's
looks
such a small
incredible, it
package
sounds
that really
incredible.
Just shows off that Drake aesthetic, giving you the absolute bare minimum needed to perform a role.
I honestly do really like the Zeus. I think it came out really well. It's kind of hard to pin down a favorite.
I
to be honest.
do like the
Really,
Zeus.
a
The
lot of really
Zeus is amazing. It's
Next year, we've got some
beautiful.
super exciting ships coming
It's
up.
functional.
We're
Better
taking
than
off a
the
few big
sea,
ones,
the
which
Spirit
is good.
series.
We're gonna
Yeah.
see.
The
again,
spirits kind of
maybe some
sucked,
ships from
honestly.
some
I was
manufacturers that
very
don't have that
disappointed
many
with
in
the
their lineup.
spirits.
There's a few big challenging ones starting, so they're good. A breadth of ships, should we say?
The 3 new ships we're going to introduce today all tie in some way to the primary factions fighting over the Nyx system. We'll start with the People's Alliance and Anvil Aerospace.
Anvil is
I was
a very
looking at this ship.
military
Looks actually
based
super nice.
brand. It's been a brand that's in Star Citizen for a long time, fighting
Is
for
this
lots
the
of military
Paladin?
contracts and law,
Yeah.
often up against Aegis, and to the point it actually.
Yeah, they
beat Aegis
announced
in
this
the
one a
past.
while
You
ago.
will be familiar with a
Yeah,
lot of
last
their
year.
ships' designs, such as the Hornet and Lightning. Earlier this year, we introduced the Anvil Asgard, based on the Valkyrie chassis, which is an extremely popular offering. And this year,
I do
we're
like
bringing
the
concept
Valkyrie.
ship we introduced last year, the Anvil Paladin, to life. The Paladin is a gunship from Anvil Aerospace designed to support
Paladin's
ground
interesting.
operations.
A gunship is a ship that's designed to sustain a sustained firefight while dealing a lot of damage, also taking damage.
We don't have a lot of gunships in the game. They're true dedicated gunships. They are quite a tricky archetype to control in game without being too powerful.
All the
It's designed with a lot of firepower and high armor and health, but very low maneuverability.
It's multi-crew. It's
like a mini
built
Hammerhead.
Purely for battle. It's got lots of armor, lots of guns, big guns.
It's got a very similar squat kind of form to the Valkyrie. It kind of reminds me of, I guess, like a pit bull. Obviously a very menacing silhouette.
It looks quite forward-weighted in its stance. It feels like it's coming towards you, even when it's just sat still. And I think that's something that helps with it feeling intimidating.
If we swing round, following the ship round clockwise, what you'll then see is the first of the side turrets. If you notice the canopy, you'll see that there's a fairly thick space between where the glass is and the hull exterior. That's because it has deployable armor, which can come out and give you a little bit
Oh my gosh.
while you're actually attacking the target head on.
That's
pretty cool. It's really
cool.
nice kind of dual connected wings with the turrets out on the sides, just to try and give as much kind of range for those turrets as we can get.
Which is controlled by one of the two remote stations underneath the bridge. If we come around to the rear, you'll see a rail. Now that rail mounts the main turret of the ship, which is controlled by the co-pilot.
So you've got full 360 coverage underneath, full 360 coverage on top with it. And then the side turrets also have 360 coverage that way around and 180 out sideways. So really you have, between the turrets, pretty much 360 coverage in all directions.
That's
Hell
pretty
yeah.
crazy.
I do like the look of the Paladin.
Paladin is all the
I
turrets
just
are remote.
think of it
and
like
all
a
the crew
really
are located
fat
in this
Scorpius.
one central two-story room.
A lot of our
This is a Scorpius that had a few too many Twinkies.
With the Paladin,
that's
it's all sat together with a nice, cool experience, so you can feel like you're playing as a group.
You've got the pilot, co-pilot up top, and you've got the gunners underneath, and I think that helps with the intention of what the ship does, because you've got this really nice kind of like gunner
Interesting.
viewpoint down, kind of giving this lower coverage.
We added a glass floor just to keep the two connected.
For-
I think that really helps.
That's
with the feeling that
cool.
you're
Oh,
all
the glass floor's
working
good, yeah.
together and communicating.
That said, if you don't have the ability
Is the
to fully crew a
turret
Paladin,
manned or
you can still
remote? I can't
fly
remember.
around, engage in combat
Remote.
solo.
Okay.
Obviously not as good as if you have a full crew, but you can't always guarantee your friends are going to be online.
As a solo ship, it's pretty capable of doing a variety of missions within Star Citizen. So if you want to run this ship solo, you can take on combat missions that, say, other heavy fighters like the Scorpius or other ships such as the Drake Cutlass could do.
Cool.
Coming aboard the Paladin, you enter into this sort of armory ready room area. You have
Okay.
a variety of
Okay,
suit lockers
okay,
and
okay.
weapon racks in this
Oh my
room.
goodness.
Everything's very
That's a lot of
militaristic,
weapon
stripped
racks.
back,
Yeah.
simple. It's a very functional space, but you'll find everything you need in that.
One of the improvements from the original concept is we've added a small dedicated cargo bay area allowing
Okay.
you to store actual SCU crates. Forward of that is the route to the lower gunners.
Like
and
6
then
or something,
upstairs
looks like.
you have the bridge area. And then off
Okay.
that central area you have the
Okay, a
dual
little
living
bit of
quarters, one on the left, one on the right. And
living
then the rear you have
quarters.
the main sort of engineering area where the majority of the components are. Also within the upper
Very, very,
traverse
very
area, you also have a breakout area with
Anvil.
seating, food machine, toilets, etc.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think it's a very cool looking ship. I think we did a really nice job of taking what was there in the concept and adding an extra level of
Yeah, it's a
detail,
remote
trying
turret.
to
You can
kind
see
of
the
push
little
these
Yeah.
I think it hits the nail in terms of a
Yeah.
really solid military ship. It's really complementary to
I
some of the
do
other
like.
ships in the Anvil lineup.
I
So
do
it's
think
like
the ability of the turret to like slide from the top to the bottom is really
make
cool.
sure it's safe, make sure
I
no one messes
thought
with
the
you,
Paladin would be bigger. Actually, it's interesting that it's just about the same size as the.
It's very clearly got a crew of 4.
The Valkyrie,
and
yeah.
They all kind of work and operate under the same conditions. You know, the pilot, co-pilot, and the 2 gunners. They're basically all equal on the ship. There's one toilet. Everyone's got the same style of bunk. When they're at work, everyone's at the front of the ship together.
It's really odd to me that you called out. You like that there's one toilet for 4 people.
Well, you know, it's you all work together. You're all equal at work.
Toilet seat never gets cold.
Toilet seat never gets cold. Yeah.
So that's the Anvil Paladin. Whilst originally a military-built craft, it's the perfect ship for folks on the frontier trying to defend against threats. And talking of threats, let's move to our
Paladin
next ship.
does look
They didn't talk about how many missile it has, because it has like 6 size 4 racks or something.
Yeah.
Asperia are a high-end manufacturer. They specialize in
Asperia.
recreating exotic and particularly alien.
Yeah, Stinger, right?
Effectively, what they're doing is they're remanufacturing them, making them a little bit more suitable for kind of human flight. And the latest offering from Asperia is the Vandal Stinger.
Stinger looks sweet.
Stinger looks so goddamn cool.
They're like 7-foot-tall evil war race that sort of take over, steal technology, absorb it, fuse it all together into their own needs.
They are the relatively nasty aliens that you sometimes hear about and haven't seen much of yet. They also make really cool spaceships.
They also
The
make
Stinger
really
as a
cool
Vandal
spaceships.
heavy fighter was reserved for their higher tier sort of ace pilots or high-ranking members within their clans.
God, it looks so cool.
The Stinger is a competitor to something like the Fate or I guess the Scorpius.
It packs a lot of firepower in quite a large frame, so it's a very, very tanky spacecraft. The firepower is almost unrivaled in terms of just both the number and the size of them. So it's there for players who don't want agility. They don't want to be in and out quickly. They want to be there brawling with big agility.
Yes.
One thing Xperia have done differently with the Stinger is they have done away with the majority of the bespoke weapons.
They heard everyone's complaints about
It's a big
Glyph
boy.
and have stripped off the original Vandal weapons to allow customization for standard human weapons.
With the exception of the
Sweet.
single size 5 gun.
Because it was too well integrated into the whole, even for Asperia to remove.
All the additional weapons are generic mounts, so they can be swapped with any of the existing lineup that we have in the game. By doing this, it provides greater flexibility to the end user, and this is something Xperia wanted for the civilian market. For that one bespoke weapon, the size 5 plasma cannon, functionally it is the same as the existing size 5 plasma cannons on the Scythe and Glaive, but it is a sort of Gen 2 model and wraps it in a different aesthetic compared to those models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal styling. This is much newer Vandal styling, but underneath it is the same weapon that people have used.
That's so cool.
Big chunky gun, very
Our job
nice.
is the
That looks
team on the PU was
awesome.
to take the Stinger from the squadron.
I wonder if
team
there's any
and
interior
prepare
of
for,
the ship or if it's
we
just
took an opportunity to
big chunky
take,
boy.
I was going to say, most Vandal ships are pretty minimalist.
added extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real blend of these
Yeah.
kind of hard surface, kind of rare alloyed kind of wings, and then underneath this real kind of organic structure that kind of webs all of the ship together. You know, it connects the
God, it
thrusters
looks
in,
so
connects all the
cool.
kind of underside of the vehicle and pulls the whole ship together.
You can tell it's very different from the Vandal ships that are currently in the PU. If you take, for example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up at the front, we've got this big kind of bubble dome that gives the cockpit quite a unique shape compared to some of our other ships, and also gives the pilot a unique position within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Oh yeah.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to other ships, obviously being alien in nature.
You're going through a ramp at the rear, and it leads you kind of straight up into the belly of the ship.
There's,
Ooh.
you know, lots of organic detail, rib cages.
I love that. That looks so cool.
Entry of the cockpit, the seat kind of comes down towards
Yeah,
you.
so
and
it
you
just
kind of
goes
climb
straight
in
to the
back a little bit,
cockpit.
like
All
So
right.
it's just a ramp that goes straight to the
It feels
cockpit.
very much like you're being
That's
like,
kinda
carried
cool, little-
inside the cockpit.
That's
into
cool.
The traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
I'm very happy with the Stinger. I think the team done a really good job of making something that feels different, it feels alien, but it suits our lineup of ships and it suits our universe.
It looks incredible. It looks so cool.
Respecting the, the direction and vision from the original Stinger and Vandal ships in Squadron.
We've tried to take a lot of inspiration from movies and other science fiction material, but I think it sits well within the Star Citizen universe.
So we have the Paladin for the People's Alliance. We have the Stinger for people that really like Vandal and want to try and pretend to be them. But what about the other mysterious faction gathering around?
Oh yeah, I saw the ship and I was like, what the hell?
Start as he was working a cargo center out in Odin. He started being able to get his hands on some stuff that other people couldn't, items that necessarily you couldn't find on a store shelf, but you wanted anyway.
I think Gray is interested in, happy customers. Gray just sees themselves as a conduit to get these things in the hands of people who would appreciate them.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
So the Shiv, well, we don't really know what it is, to be fair.
It's what happens when someone who is a genius at aeronautics and ship assembly is given free rein to do whatever they want.
It's like the skeleton of a cutlass, but
put together to make something
like
truly unique, wonderful, arguably beautiful, and just released out into the universe to see what happens.
At first glance at the exterior of the Shiv, I think most people will probably recognize there is more than a fair proportion of the cutlass, visible there, but it's had quite a few changes to it.
As you look a little bit closer, you'll start
the
to
engines
pick out
are all
elements from other
different. The
ships.
top guns
You've
are
got,
different.
Main thrusters that are from the Valkyrie.
Even the bits
Oh,
that are obviously
Valkyrie.
a cutlass have had panels welded on, panels removed. The top turret, which is now remote, is just this hodgepodge amalgamation with multiple other ships' turrets. And then the changes continue onto the inside where, again, it sort of feels Cutlass-like, but then you'll find there's bits of Crusader ships just integrated into the wall. When
Interesting. That's so cool.
Its side entrance, some of its cargo capacity, but what it's gained is it's gained visually more powerful thrusters. It's gained a really kind of nice set of belly thrusters. It's upped its firepower.
As ever with the
I wonder
work
if it
from,
has better shields
Market,
too compared to like the
great
base
care was taken to
cutlass.
the health and safety
Maybe.
to ensure that there's no trip hazards anywhere.
There's like loose cables, panels are exposed. If you look carefully, you'll notice there are like tools laying around in the cockpit.
It's gained a toilet.
No, the bucket.
This fucking bucket.
Yeah, it's one for doing stuff, and then you need a second one to wash your hands. It's not an animal.
It's very much taken that
Amazing.
double blood price dread. Oh
and
my
moved it
gosh,
down
the
a
amount of
level,
guns
which I
on
think
that
is
thing.
Bird.
Just look at this thing. How
That's
do you even
crazy.
begin to describe the madness that created this? It's the Shiv.
So it's the bastard version of like the Cutlass, the Valkyrie, the Hurricane, the Freelancer.
Just nothing. Just
no comment.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, there are just many ways to find these things.
That's
that,
awesome.
I
actually
are they legitimate?
love that.
Manufacturers? No. Are they operating on the right side of the law? Maybe not. But money's money.
But it's cool.
Ethos to live by.
It probably comes down to, don't ask where I got it.
Don't ask how we got it.
Don't worry about it. Just ask if you want it.
I think the Shiv is for someone that is looking for something a bit different.
I actually really quite like
They
that.
just want something that's unique.
It's
definitely
weird.
for people who like
It's
a rustic
unconventional.
It's a fun ship.
Unconventional?
But it's also really strong, to be
Unconventional.
honest, and it's
I like it.
absolutely a statement.
Yeah.
That must have
I'm
been
happy with the free ship offerings.
intern
They're
Coon's
obviously
job
very
over the
complicated.
last year. So we want you to make a new ship. Can I just take parts from other ships? Sure.
Yeah.
As always, super excited to release these ships into the game.
Show
to
us
see how
what
players
you
react
can,
and
what kind
play
of
with
ship
them.
you can
It's always
make,
fun
but
to see
only use
the
existing
quirks and the
resources.
shenanigans that people get up to with them.
You're not allowed
So
to
that's
create
talking
new
ship for another year?
textures. I want more of that kind of ship, though. Just like slapping together like.
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a timeshare agreement this year, so we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is an extremely original name.
Oh, not gonna.
No more ships.
Not gonna tell us about the Kraken. Not gonna tell us about the Perseus.
Maybe later.
No.
I'm talking about the new edition that come out in October. The non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have a manufacturer, the weapons that you can think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he can sell.
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come from unknown origins.
He will sell things that no company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of like scrappy and taped together and the most kind of like pyro-ish weapons that you can think of.
Right now we're releasing 3 new weapons. Rocket launcher, the LMG, and the long-awaited Space AK.
Space AK.
I think this is the one that
Space
not only
AK
is the most in demand, but I've been politely buzzed about the most. It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic in sequence. So
What?
Your first shot will be your ballistic. Your second shot will be the
What?
energy. You'll see on top
The
of the arm,
fuck?
there is a bolt that cycles the rounds, and that goes off with the ballistic
Oh.
shot, but it does not go off with the energy shot.
You clicked my
And
link, I
that
see.
is
I did click your
a
link.
fun way
God
of
damn it! Why you
making
do
a
this to
weapon
me?
work in kind of like a scrappy, glued together kind of.
Supposed to open in a new tab on a different window.
So it fires both energy and ballistic ammo. That's
hard-hitting beast.
interesting.
The 50 cal, and the only other weapons that have this right now in the verse are the bearing sniper rifle.
What the
and
heck is
Corvette.
that gun?
Honestly, if you even get hit by one, you just.
So it's an
instantly
LMG that fires sniper rifle bullets.
Yeah, what the heck?
That's awesome.
We made all these
That's
really
so cool.
weird, fancy guns, and some people just want, I want a slow firing rifle. Give me a scrap together box that fires the biggest thing you can possibly find.
Just one shot.
Yeah, it fires sniper bullets. What do you expect?
What the
heck is this?
Into the tube and fire towards your enemies. The cool part about it will have an arming distance, so you'll not be able to just point it towards an enemy.
It's also going to have a lot of spread. So essentially, you're going to have to get very close with your launcher to be able to blow up ships with a single payload in it. You can't actually aim with the apparatus, because you've got the tube on your shoulder, and you try to aim it, you'd have to physically put the tube in your head. So
What?
you're like, oh, we can't have an aim apparatus for this. And then we realized, like, it's in the spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus, and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen. I'm gonna hit it.
It's in the spirit of being a tube.
It's in the spirit of being a tube.
Resource gathering, refining, and even combat when it comes online in the next few months.
Ship refining.
The first version of crafting.
Did you hear that?
Is
Ship
gonna be
refining.
quite small
And crafting.
scale, but it is a kind of a concentrated effort to allow the players to experience the initial UI, the flow of gathering materials that have different quality, and using those to craft items which are better than what they have currently in the game.
The first version is going to be primarily FPS items that you can craft, weapons and armor. For Star Citizen, crafting is our primary progression mechanic. Star Citizen isn't your standard MMO. We don't have levels. We have ships, we have gear, we have things that you create in the world, you perfect, you research, you improve, and those items, those ships, those vehicles, the armor and weapons, that's how you progress in Star Citizen. Crafting isn't just a progression mechanic for creating new items, it's also a fundamental change to how we handle resources in the game. The materials that you collect, how you refine them, quality matters.
A huge asteroid, holy
Crafting
moly.
The weapons, you'll be able to have some quality materials to influence the item stats on those weapons.
It'll be somewhat random, potentially weighted on the location of the material. Some will have a higher chance of higher quality. And once you take those materials to your crafting bench, the fabricator,
Interesting.
you can use them to craft, and the different attributes will be increased based on
Well, that's
the
how Idris.
quality of the materials you use. It's not
Yeah.
just iron ore anymore, it's iron ore of the quality that you know will get you the stats for the item that you desire. And it's not just mining, it's
so quality.
essentially every resource we can get our hands on.
To support this, we also need major changes to inventory so that all of these new resources that you're collecting, you can see what you have, you can order
Oh,
it
that
better,
inventory
you
screen
can
looks a lot better.
Understand what you have in your inventory.
That does look
We won't
better.
have the new refining crafting system yet. We'll be using the existing ones. Those will pass the quality through.
That's
into
not
the
a
refined
very high
which you
bar
can then
though, because
take
the
to your
current
crafting
inventory
machine
system is
and
kind of
start
shit.
making your personal items.
It's true.
Let's
Once
be
you
honest.
have your blueprint and your quality materials
Where
that you've
was
refined,
where was
then
that?
you can put them together.
Where the
on
fuck is
the
this?
fabricator.
That's just in the
This will
hangar.
be
Is that
pretty
is
much
that
what we
just in the
showed last
hangar?
year's
Are they just gonna have a
CitizenCon,
crafting
the
machine in the
UI
hangar?
letting you assign your quality resources to different aspects
Interesting.
of the item. Once you're happy with what you see on the preview, you'll be able to click to craft, and it'll get queued up, and your result will be produced sometime later.
That's cool.
You'll be able to get the new crafting machine from shops in most landing zones. You'll be able to bring it up on your freight elevator and use it in your personal hangar. Or track the beam it
Interesting.
around and stick it on a ship if you want to use it from there.
Oh, you can put it on a ship. That's nice.
Interesting. So it must be
Small
like
amount of
grid
blueprints you get
snappable.
credited to your account
Yeah.
just to
That's
test and
cool.
mess around, but the vast majority of them will be earned through missions, and then you can use
Hey,
that
my favorite
blueprint
gun.
to craft the item that it is that you've got the blueprint for. So it should be a good reason to go and test all the
Ship
different
ammunition.
missions in the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
The advantage
Earlier
of
they
crafting
showed
your own
up.
items is that they'll be better than anything that you could buy from shops. You'll be able to increase and improve item stats that are relevant to your gameplay. Maybe a gun will shoot faster, maybe it'll do some more damage, or your armor will have greater resistance.
Ooh, a Gemini LMG that
effects or
fires like
you might be wondering,
spread damage.
what about the upgrade and research?
Yeah.
That will be coming in a subsequent release. We're happy with this initial scope for crafting.
It's going to be so.
That will be
so valuable
interesting.
for
If you
us
can like
as
mod
devs
weapons to
get
like
the metrics
do
in,
different
get the
things.
feedback in, because
That'd be
then we can
cool.
make the changes that they only become obvious, so to speak, when you have kind of mass amounts of data and mass amounts of users using it. So I'm very excited to get it out in the wild.
It's our intention to get crafting out on tech preview by the end of the year and get the testing we need so we can release it when it's ready.
Okay. So it won't be coming out
So
officially
that's
this
one
year,
way
but
you'll be crafting your own experiences in the Star Citizen universe. But what about us? Where do we get to hone in and craft a bespoke experience here and there, specifically tailored to individual or small group play? Well, that's where instancing comes in. And I'm going to let Benji tell you a little bit more.
Oh?
We're bringing instancing to Star Citizen in 2026.
Ooh,
Why are we doing it,
instancing.
and how will it work? So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere. Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size, but it is also protected from outside interference. It's not to say that we don't love PvP. I'm a PvP guy. PvP me, bro.
What the heck?
But like most MMOs, a good balance between a dangerous overworld and a protected instances is needed. Right now, we don't have this ability, and this is something we really need in order to give you a sense of progression that is tailored and balanced to a tunable amount of groups, so the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that doesn't fit in our overworld strategy, meaning getting to the instance is dangerous, exiting the instance is dangerous, or can be interfered with others. But at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one experience.
Interesting.
So before anybody says this is only a PvE thing, this technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless as the PvE ones. So it's not about one thing or the other. It's really about unlocking developers' ability to create curated content.
Okay.
So that said, how will it work? Instancing is really an evolution over static to dynamic meshing. We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangars, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see. The transition is just like a dynamic mesh transition. And so throughout the universe, we will be able to add these areas that are open or closed instances that allow you to join in either with a party and have a reserved instance for your party, or join in open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the
That is
power of the
really
entire mesh.
cool.
The closed ones will be
being able
really
to stay
drive one piece
seamless,
of
but
content.
also like
enter and exit
allow
seamlessly,
for
just like we do with your
separation
instance hangars.
between like the
go and find out
PvP
what
and
one of our first
PvE
instances will be.
gameplay without interruption of the seamless experience is really cool. Ooh, Siege of Orison!
Which created a gameplay scenario where the player had to run through and progress through contested islands of Orison. This was a high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little bit from its technical execution. But now with the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it better for you and a small group to work through that activity.
It is an event that I had the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control.
This would be the
in our
first
current thinking,
instance
Siege of Orison is designed for about 15
event,
to 20
Yeah.
fire team. So you, your friends, or your
That's
15 to
really
20 person
exciting.
fire
sort
team?
of dedicated
Okay.
roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and be the sniper and pick people off who are a bit further to make the advance easier. Some of you will be the medic who sole job is going to be revive and look after the rest of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the people who push for the objectives to try and get sort of most of the mission done. The event was designed for about 15 to 30 people, but when we released it, we fixed the problem with 2 DGSs on one server that was fighting for resources. And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was a massive operation at the time. I think that bringing it back and giving it a refresher will be a fantastic addition back into the PU.
So imagine if
I did enjoy the Siege of Orison. It was a neat event.
Or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends.
I think it'll be
join
cool
up
if
with
they
random
like
players on the server.
refined
There's
it as
lots of
well.
ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
I'm excited to say the least to bring back Siege of Orison to Star Citizen and to sort of have it be one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while the next season is quite heavily focused on Nyx, I'm also very happy that we're not really ignoring our other 2 systems of Standard and Pyro.
Yeah.
We're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those 2 systems as well.
All right.
Yes, and while things like Genesis, interstellar hauling, crafting, Siege of Orison, and more will reveal next year, we'll continue to bring life into the existing universe outside of Nyx. There's still one more exciting use for instancing we're building right now. It's an earlier look than normal, and some of it is still in white box, but we're excited to share the first look at a major content release of 2026, and what it means for progression-based gameplay. As an evolution of our Building Interior initiative, you won't discover it by accident, because when it's complete, it will be found deep within the heart of Levski itself. This is the Municipal Works.
Municipal Works? Is this like a raid?
So inside the facility, you'll find huge vaporization chambers, old processing plants, industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines, which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true history of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see Night 18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural plays, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a place you go to fix stuff.
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
Okay.
So let me get this straight. This is literally a mission to fix the toilets of Levski.
It's not just the toilets. You're also trying to turn on the air. Air is a bit more important. It still works in Levski, but they have like maybe polluted air because it's not being cleared properly. It's not.
Oh,
just
that looks cool.
Mission.
Yeah. It's also a little bit more
Poop
exciting than
mission.
just going
Poop
into, like,
mission.
some vents. It's like a free-layered
Pooping
system with
gameplay
free
confirmed?
chapters.
No. This will be mission-driven and repeatable. Everything from mining,
Instance toilet gameplay?
a variety
No.
Narratively, it's a real sandbox. Every progression you do will unlock a new area that will link back to previous areas.
Okay, so it's gonna be like ASD facilities, but better. Because they said every time you do it, you unlock new areas.
Now that we have instances
That's
that are coming
cool.
online, that allows us to do something that provides really cool gameplay close to a landing zone.
With the missions, that's what will create different overlays or change the spaces or change the progression, but it'll be the instancing which will enable us to create tailored content to you and your group. So you're going to be able to play a part of it, make your progress, and then log off. And then the next time you come online, you'll be able to pick up where you left off.
It's going to allow players to return back to it at different states depending on how much you've progressed and be able to keep it going until you've reached sort of the end of the whole 3 chapters.
Where you're not going to have other people getting in your way. It's you, your team, your party.
It's a way of giving players content where they know exactly where they're at and they can keep going back to it and improving sort of their own progress and ability to jump through
that's
them
cool.
faster and faster.
So like if you don't have enough time to finish it, you can just leave and come back later.
How we'll be allowing players and developers alike to create more crafted experiences within the greater sandbox of the persistent universe. Okay, is that it for me at this point, Jared?
Almost. Throw it back to me, and I've got one more for you after this.
Back to you, Jared.
Tactical strike groups. Okay.
Okay.
So this is like larger org
The People's
focused.
Alliance are still trying to
Yeah.
Maybe not
what
org
this new
focused, but
faction is really
larger
doing in the Nyx system.
They've sent a
focused
capital ship to
activities,
check
larger
out a
person
station
activities.
and run into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage. Now they've reached out to Intersect, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid.
You have to attack a
broken asteroid,
station?
and on this, you will have
What?
this space where you will find 3 big arms. You will see at the middle, you will have this big energy core.
Looks like it's a Nyx as well.
Here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance-owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you have met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, now it's time to actually assault the station.
Okay, this is gonna be sweet. So you have dudes fighting outside, shooting ships. You got other dudes
going in and fighting on PvP. Yeah, that's
other
cool.
dudes got to go take out specific guns.
These
Yeah,
turrets ignore
cannons
small
off the
fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Turrets that ignore fighters and target only
Polaris
capital
and Idris,
ships.
If you get it close, it will get shredded. The idea of these is so we can sort of make it so we can mix up that ship combat and not everyone can just bring the biggest ship and win just because they have the biggest ship.
So they ignore fighters, but they're gonna
that Polaris
target
died so fast.
specifically Polarises. Interesting.
Superstructure and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships.
So does Ares have a use now?
So at this point you're thinking destroy the turrets, but it's not that easy. This turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything, your lasers won't do anything, your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have to cut the power to their shields. To do that, that actually brings you to your first objective, the power relays.
Okay.
So the exterior has a number of power relays that are holding the doors closed so that you can't get in.
You have to
So
find them,
it's kind of like the Death Star. You have to send in smaller fighters to knock out the power relays, and then the big ships can come in.
Shields that are resistant to energy-based attacks.
We know how much you like using laser repeaters, but so do these guys.
Oh, so you have to bring ballistic weapons.
Capital ship can't get close enough
Interesting.
because of the turrets.
So ships with explosive or ballistic ordnance will be needed here. That's torpedo ships like your Retaliator or Gladiator,
torpedo ship, let's go.
or even another fighter with
Retaliator!
ballistics weapon. That's going to take you a while.
Go Tally! Hello, cat. You are mine now.
Once the power
Cat has
relays
been
have been
claimed.
taken down, the station
Cat
opens
has
up.
been
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for you to fly your ship inside the station.
catnapped.
You, in your ship, fly into the superstructure of this station.
What? So it is Death Star.
Proud dad mode.
It is actually the fucking Death Star. That's so
What it
cool.
is. It's a trench run.
It is. Hey, yeah.
They even nodded to it. Okay, this can be sweet.
So as you enter the structure, you'll see cooling units along the sides that you'll need to take out. There's three
That's
arms
so
to the station
cool.
that have these trenches. You'll fly into one, and then there'll be a core in the center, and then you'll move out another trench.
You're either gonna do it multiple times, or you need to bring friends.
This is actually a cool, thing because it's like a reason for an Idris to actually bring fighters inside its hangar.
You're gonna have to move quickly. You need an agile ship.
Like it's a reason for a Polaris or an Idris to bring fighters with it, deploy the fighters. Fighters go and like knock out the shields, knock out the turrets. Then the Idris can come in
Once the cooling units are out,
and
that
like
exposes the core to overheat, which means that you can attack it from the inside.
start
and
to
also from
fucking
exhaust ports on the outside of the station.
deal damage.
Oh,
This
Eclipse.
core's armored and just takes a whole lot of damage.
Boom.
That's very trench run. Yeah. That's so cool.
Once the power core goes down, the turrets come down, and then the capital ships can get closer. Why is that important? Because during all of this, you spend a lot of ammo and munitions and ballistics, and you're going to want to top up.
This is where we're gonna get our new feature in: ship hangar refueling and rearming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Land in the hangar of select ships and be able to use the same interface as you are right now at stations to refuel and rearm.
It's specifically for ships like the Idris and the Polaris and other ships that are designed to have other ships land inside them.
Of course, it'll be more than just those two ships, and you'll find out more once we get closer to release. But this is a really important feature that we're really excited to get out.
If you're not bringing your own Idris, the People's Alliance has an Idris there that can provide a safe port in a storm, allow you to set back up and head back out.
And it's a good thing that you've rearmed and refueled too, because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance Idris.
This is like Xenothreat, like Mark II almost.
That's so cool. What a cool fucking event. I love this.
what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Now
Then you have to go to the station. Oh my gosh.
You've got to land. You've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station.
Then you have to escort the captives out.
So you've got meaningful gameplay for fighters. You've got gameplay for drop ships to drop troops inside the station. You've got gameplay for capital ships, gameplay for bombers. That's so cool.
So up until this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
The
Vandals show up! That's so cool!
And they're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood.
That's honestly gonna be so fun or scary to be in. Holy moly.
That's gonna be so chaotic.
You're on a time limit. Vandal are coming. They're going to come hard. They're going to keep coming.
Well, hopefully they yeah, hopefully they bring the social system to be in, so you can be like, hey guys, I want to join a group that's doing this.
Yeah.
Whoa, do you see how big those attacks were?
Vandal kingship? Vandal.
No, I don't think a kingship.
Oh, Vandal driller? Is that a driller?
I think it's just a big ship.
Is it a? I think that looked like a driller to me.
No, I didn't do the laser. It shot just big blasts.
Vandal. Oh.
I'm personally so invested.
That's so cool.
Throughout 2025, a variety of content.
Calm down,
Some of
sir.
it is very focused on FPS combat. So personally, driving a more vehicle-based experience was very important to me. This is a defining statement that I want to do in 2026. We're a spaceship game. There are prized possessions. To the objects we fall in love with.
That's pretty cool though. So hopefully they do bring in like the ability to be like, hey, can I join a
create scenarios and roles.
Who's doing this, and it kind of puts in like a queue or something.
Yeah, they really need to bring in some of those social updates, because like they don't have any kind of party finder. Like the comms menu is constantly fucking broken. They really need some of that stuff to make some of this actually viable, especially if they're going to require like multiple ships coordinating with each other in order to complete events. They really need to bring some of those social features online ASAP.
Yeah.
That they talked about at last year's CitizenCon. Which hopefully they have some of those in the works.
Okay.
I bet they do.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress. And many features we haven't discussed
Just
today are in
some.
active
Okay.
development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much...
Okay, yeah.
Features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen. Finally, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone at CIG for working so tirelessly and with so much passion to deliver something that is already special and will only get more so as we continue. And of course, to all of you for making all this possible with your support and feedback. We couldn't do this without all of you, something that I and the team appreciate every day. We are very lucky to be allowed the time and the money to build a game of all of our dreams, something that is only more apparent as the video game business becomes more monolithic. We are one of the few large independents left standing, and there is no way we would be allowed to dream as big as we are on an original game and take the time to achieve that dream if we were part or funded by any of the few remaining mega game companies. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the verse this coming year.
Okay. That was actually better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, for like a
pre-recorded.
You were preaching doom and despair for the last month.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think so. I was mainly just annoyed that I didn't get to attend an in-person event, because we did have such a good time last time
Yeah, it
we
was
went
pretty
to
fun.
CitizenCon. It was so much fun when we went to LA.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like
you were like, oh, is it even gonna be a good CitizenCon though? But
one thing that I will say is like I miss the like super duper in-depth dives that they always have done at CitizenCon, where they have the developers just go like ridiculously in depth on the systems that they're talking about. I feel like, I mean, they talked about a lot of cool stuff, but I don't think that they went into nearly as much detail as I typically prefer them to.
Yeah.
As far as like CitizenCon goes, but maybe that's just personal preference.
Pretty good depth. Like they're talking about the freaking like boxes on the freaking what renders and how much of a render it does. That's pretty in depth, I'd say. They could have just been
I mean, it was kind of in depth, but not as much as like in a previous CitizenCon, they would have mentioned the boxes, and then they would have gone into an hour's worth of detail talking about how the boxes work.
I don't know about hours worth.
It would have been a fucking hour's worth. Let's be real.
It's not as depth as the character. Remember that one when we were there? They talked for almost 2 hours about characters, just like your person. Like, this is how we simulated each hair individually, and this is what went into simulating each hair individually. We're like, wait, my brain can't take.
I think the sweet spot is maybe somewhere in between what they've done in previous CitizenCon and what they did in this one, because I do wish that there was more. I wish that was longer. Like 2 hours just doesn't feel like quite enough time. Like there's so much more that I wish they would have expanded on, like this. The social systems specifically, gone into more detail on like more of the ships that they've been working on, like the Perseus and the Kraken. I wish that they'd gone into more detail on. I wish they'd gone into more detail on stuff that they're doing for Nyx. I wish they would have mentioned more stuff of like potentially what they're doing for Castra. Like social systems is a big thing, base building as well. I wish they would have like given at least some kind of update. Like as far as ships go, like the Kraken, the Pioneer, those are a few ships that I know they've been working on that we've been waiting on, and just kind of like letting us know more about what's going on with them. Still no news on the fucking Banu Merchantman. I'm sorry, but like, I'm trying to think like what else, like obviously not having anything, like any mention of Squadron 42 whatsoever is also like a pretty big thing, especially because the last two CitizenCons have been had focused on Squadron 42 pretty heavily, and it's supposed to come out next year, so like not having any info whatsoever on Squadron is a little bit weird. But overall, I'm not like disappointed about what they gave. Like I think that like the ships that they announced are really cool. I think Nyx coming next month is crazy. I'm so excited. Nyx looks amazing. I think that they've got some really interesting content things coming in the near future that I'm very excited to see, you know, what happens with those. But yeah, overall, yeah, not my favorite CitizenCon that they've done, but not the worst either.
I think they did pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was okay. I just wish that there had been more, because it did. I think the main thing was that just that, like, because the last couple CitizenCons have been multiple day events, having it just be like a 2.5 hour broadcast does feel quite lackluster. At least to me. At least to me.
I mean, compared to like other game cons, like for example, Warframe does TennoCon every year.
Yeah.
And their thing is literally an hour.
Yeah.
But it's a whole day of con,
yeah.
and you have an hour of actual like this is what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that they've set that expectation, right? Whereas CitizenCon, like pretty much every CitizenCon in the past has been like a 1 or 2 day event. Like even when it was a 1 day event, it was like a fucking 10-hour stream.
Yeah.
So I think just like when you think of that, like comparing it to what CitizenCon has been in the past, it does feel kind of lackluster. At least in my opinion. Not that I'm saying that I didn't love everything that they showed. I just wish there was more.
Yeah.
Like I liked everything that they showed off. I think everything that they showed off was really exciting and really cool. I just wish there was more shit.
I honestly
which I don't think is necessarily a
surprises.
bad thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing where like the biggest complaint that I have is that I wish there was more.
That's
right?
a pretty good complaint to have, honestly. But like they said, like we haven't told you on purpose, which is like I'm kind of excited for that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool because like I like having a surprise or two.
Yeah, to see what else they have in store for us.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. That's exciting. But yeah, what was your favorite thing that they showed off in this CitizenCon Extreme?
I think the last thing, that tactical strike group.
That event looks
amazing.
That event looks really fun. The only thing that I will say is it does seem like it will require like a rather large group to actually like complete the mission. And so I really do hope that they are that they're still working on like their social features, because like right now it especially like we can sometimes get like 5 people together.
Maybe, yeah, if we're lucky.
I mean, a lot of the people that we know, they kind of come and go in the game. We only have a very small number of people who are like super dedicated to Star Citizen at the moment, which hopefully more people will start coming back to the game as it becomes more of a complete experience, which I'm very excited for, because we do have a lot of people that we have played with in the past that I would love to play with again, that are just kind of like taking a hiatus from the game, but I do think that better social features would really be a boon in this game, especially for a game that like a lot of the game's experience is built off of these emergent content, like sandbox experiences that happen when meeting new people inside the game.
And
you know what I mean?
I think the issue currently, and they kind of mentioned it too with like instant stuff, is like, yeah, we know a lot of stuff is you go somewhere and it's a PvP zone and you're just trying to do your mission and someone's going to come kill you.
Yeah.
Or you're leaving and you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it would be nice to be able to like go somewhere and be like, hey, I want to party up. And not just like run in and they just shoot you because they're shooting everything.
Yeah.
You don't even get a chance to be like, hey, do you guys want to party up? So
yeah, exactly.
I think that'd be a really important social feature, which they said they're working on them. So hopefully,
and especially with instance content, I think like a party finder would be a really cool addition, kind of like they have in a lot of other MMOs, like some sort of party finder, also like org support would be really nice to have, like if you're able to like see other org members or like create parties with org members specifically would be really nice. Or like if you're entering an instance area and like members of your org are already in an instance, that you could like automatically join that instance so that you can just like join on your org members would be really cool. I'm a little it kind of sucks that they didn't mention basically anything about like the social features that they mentioned in the last CitizenCon, but hopefully those will start rolling in pretty soon, because like the social systems that we have right now are just so outdated. They really fucking suck. Let's be honest here.
Is just like super unreliable too. You're like, hey, remember in the past when we try to do Xenothreat and be like, hey, you guys want to crew up a Hammerhead? And we get one person be like, yeah, I'll play.
Okay,
like,
let's be honest.
Need, like,
global
four
chat,
other dudes.
Global chat fucking sucks dick, man.
Yeah,
it's
pretty bad.
It's bad. It's real bad. Like anytime I open global chat, I immediately regret opening global chat because it's just like.
Well, and it's just like the same like 5 people though too. Like, just the same 5 people just spamming chat.
Yeah, it's either people. It's either people like being super toxic or people talking about like something completely out of pocket, and then if you try and like ask people if they want to do something, 99% of the time it just gets buried.
Yeah, ignored.
In the chat. Ignored and buried.
Or the other issue of you can't scroll down far enough to actually click on the dude's name to invite them to the party anyways.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully they can get some updates. And because if they can do that, then I think that a lot of the features that they announced are going to end up being even better. Right? Because like having the being able to reliably find a party to do things like that, like massive like fleet battle thing with, is gonna make the game so much better. Because that's one of the coolest things. Like that brings me back to remember the first time that we ever did Xenothreat. And how goddamn cool it was to like fight an Idris with like other players on the server.
Well,
that's what that reminds me of.
We'd all show up to like that ambush site where all the Starfarers are broken. You have to go get the stuff out of them.
Yeah.
And like other players would be chilling out, and you'd just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna grab stuff. Can you guys cover me?" And be like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what that reminds me of. And just like being like adding those social features to enable more of that gameplay, because like those types of emergent experiences is part, at least in my opinion, of what makes Star Citizen so special.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, and like the seamlessness too is like you really don't get that in any other games. Like, yeah, sure, you go do a dungeon, but it's like you go to the dungeon and then you hit a loading screen and then you're in the dungeon and then you finish the dungeon and then loading screen, you're out of the dungeon.
Yeah.
I think it would just feel really cool to just go through something and like say, even if it's instanced, you wouldn't even feel like it's instanced, which is, I think is going to be really cool.
Exactly. But yeah, overall, I think that was a pretty decent CitizenCon. Like there wasn't anything that was like really boring or like superfluous that I didn't care about. Like everything, I feel like they were able to condense most of the stuff that they had to offer into things that I at least, and I feel like probably most of the overall player base are, you know, things that they would be excited about and excited to learn about and see, and you know, excited to have come into the game eventually.
Yeah, I agree. That was probably a big thing for most people. Just like yeah, sure, like Nyx, pretty big, but like just like all the things coming with Nyx, like new mining, new cargo hauling.
Yeah, updates to mining gameplay, cargo hauling gameplay, several gameplay loops that a lot of people have felt have been pretty underrepresented and have not gotten the love that they deserve. I hope that they also do like a polished pass overall on the mining gameplay when they release Nyx as well, because I think it really does. Because I think it really does need it. They did mention recently, so. They did also mention like the economy team taking another look at like some of the mining things, which it definitely does need, because mining is just not a profitable gameplay loop at the moment.
I think I've said this in the past too. It's like I think once player refining comes in, it'll be a lot more profitable, but like that also requires having your own like refining materials and stuff.
They did mention refining. They also showed they also mentioned refueling missions, and they also showed the Starfarer. So I wonder if they're working on player refining, and also giving the Starfarer a gameplay loop in and of itself would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be pretty. I think refueling missions would be kind of cool. Like, you just show up, go refuel, dude. Be easy, quick.
Yeah. But yeah,
hopefully,
that's kind of my overall thoughts on CitizenCon.
Yeah, I'd say I was pretty good. Some really cool information. Instancing, obviously huge.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly,
seems pretty well underway. Honestly, like
crafting will be neat. I will say I think I actually enjoyed this year's CitizenCon more than I did last year, but not quite as much as I did in 2023.
Yeah, the pyro one was pretty sweet. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that one was great.
But yeah, last year's I think last year's was kind of like a hey, look, like we know a lot of you have been asking questions.
Last year's was more. Last year's felt like a lot more stuff in the very distant future, because they focused more on like the 1.0 release.
Yeah, I think it was more of like a reality check for everyone. Like, hey, look, just so you guys know, this is what we're like doing. Like,
this is the end goal. Yeah, this is the end goal. This is what we're working towards, but it's very far in the future.